my friends. This is Jay, and welcome back to Jay's Knit and Purl Jam. And guess what? You're right on time. You're right on time because spring is just about to come in. And Jay's in her spring has sprung mood. And I'm telling you, I am so excited because I believe I'm right on cue with the project that I have been working on and that I want to share with you. Well, first of all, how are you? I hope things are great. I hope you've been doing well. Those that have had severe weather, I hope you feel a calm now. I hope things are changing as we get ready to go into spring. It has already been as high as 70 degrees, and I think tomorrow or the next day I think they're forecasting 75 in North Metro Atlanta. What are we going to do? But I am glad that we are getting some rain because, as you know, we have a lot of pollen here in the south. I have azaleas in my yard, and of course I have the pollen will cover everything, and we have there's about 2 weeks where everything and everybody's yellow. Your car, your house, it just doesn't, you can't even open the door, you can hardly get outside. But once that's passed, or the rain comes in, and I hope it kind of taps that out of the air and keeps that pollen count low, I think we'll do just fine. But either way, I'm going to continue to crochet because I'm excited about the projects I'm bringing you this time. Well, like I said, spring is coming in the end of this week, so we'll be setting our clocks ahead an hour, and I hope you will get some spring relief in wherever area you are also. So for this project, I decided, as you can see by the book review, I hope you take a look at it. I did a book review on 2 crochet books by Linda Scaper, I believe her name. Anyway, I love these 2 books. They are fabulous. They are, if you're going to be a collector or if you're going to be working a lot of, a lot of pretty lacy crochet projects, you need these 2 books in your library. And if you're going to go on Amazon or wherever you're going to go, or Joann's or wherever, if you're going to buy one, then you may as well, if you can, get the second one so you'll have the set. I'm going to work in the large one as much from this point on all the way through to fall. I don't know how many projects I'll be able to turn out from it, but I'm just going to use that book because that's how much I like the book. And it's, like I said, I've gone through it, and then I'll show you the stitch once we get into the tutorial. But let me explain what the idea that I came up with. Well, like I said, my things are simple. I keep them simple, on purpose. There's enough hard stuff out there, and I just like it simple because I can explain it, and then I can help more people, figure out a way to fit them, fit yourself, fit your own body. Since I don't do written patterns, I prefer step by step, showing you how I not only come up with the idea, but how I put it together and then how I create it. It's not doing me any good to keep it. I'd rather share it. I'd rather share it with you. So then you can do it, and then you can turn around and share it with someone else, and it just keeps going. Just remember to tell them it's from Jay's Knit and Purl Jam to you. So, the project, I've taken a stitch from her book. It's only 2 rows. When I'm going to do more than one project with a stitch, I don't want to have 3 or 4 or 5 rows. I try to keep it real simple. So this is a shell, and I'm wearing one of the samples, as you've seen in the pictures. Now, you can choose from the sleeveless or these very simple short sleeves, because it's, like I said, we're getting ready to go into spring and it's already 75. I can't imagine what summer's going to be like. So I'm not going to be working on a shawl right now, or, you know, do I have a desire to have all that around my neck? I just, you know, I'm a lady of seasons. I can't have all that around my neck. But yet I can't be loose and go, you know, like you young people, like some of the young people. I had to put a little camisole under this one because it is very lacy and see-through. But look, very light. And so this is one. And then, like I said, with sleeves, then the sleeveless, then a shrug. And I had another one, but if I don't stop and try to get the videos up, Jake can just keep going. I have to stop myself. Like, okay, let's concentrate on 3. So I'm going to concentrate on 3. And, of course, I'll be working one in real time. Oh, I can't wait for you to see the color of that one. It's so pretty. So I'm going to be working, of course, one. I'll have little samples, you know, to work with and show you everything. The stitch, how to put things together. Like I say, in one piece. Most of it is in one piece. And then you can accessorize like you want. You know, I just get a half a yard of little fabric from Joann's, and I make little tube scarves. Well, because I like them. You know, I can handle that, but I can't handle anything else. Not this time of year. Now, when it gets colder, we'll get back into our shawls. But I wanted to use the crochet stitches so I can present to you Jay's Crochet Spring into Simple Summer Shell Tops. And I really hope you're going to like them. I think you will. But I did get something in the mail, and I want to share it with you. It's exciting. Wait. Look! I got a postcard from Knit and Purl. Look at that. Some of you have asked me, Jay, where's Knit and Purl? Well, when it got bad weather and cold and, you know, sick, you know, you get sick and all that, well, I let them go to the Bahamas to visit some relatives for a while. And that gave me a little break, too. You know, it's hard work. Changing the water, feeding, keeping things clean, watching the temperature. But, listen. They sent me a postcard. Let me read what they said. Dear Mom, that's me. We are having a wonderful time here in the Bahamas. But we can't wait to come home and see you. Love, Knit and Purl. See you soon. Isn't that sweet? So look. We're going to have to plan a homecoming party or something. So, I am looking forward to them coming home. And they can tell us all about their big adventures. Oh, if only everyone could go to the Bahamas. Because, like I say, I miss them. And I know you did too. So, I've got my little postcard. I've got my beautiful shell designs to share with you. I have done the book review on Linda Scaper's beautiful book. It is absolutely, I mean, it really is a great book. I don't know this lady. I'm not making either. I just like to give, you know, credit, and if it's something that I like and I'm going to use, I want you to know where I got it from. I want to give credit where credit is due. So, without further ado, I don't think nothing else I bought. So, are you ready? Let's go. Okay, I'm ready to dive right in. And I'm just, remember we're going to work out of The Complete Book of Crochet Stitches by Linda Scaper. And this is the one that I want to use all summer. It's just enough, more than enough. And like I said, the book is just really, I believe it's a valuable tool. If you don't have it, If you go, you know, wherever you can find it, Amazon or wherever. But I would go ahead and get both books if I was going to get it. If you know, if you like a person like me, I like to have a nice library of books on hand. Okay, so I'm not going to dally. I want to just go through this part. I already did a book review on the video before this one, so that you would have it. In this book, I am taking stitch number 168. Ta-da! Stitch number 168, and I'm going to make sure it's on camera, and I'm going to tilt it up a little bit. And, like I said, they don't have names, just numbers. But if you have the book, it's 168. It's a multiple of 6 chains, for those that want to know that, plus 3, even though that's not how I'm going to crochet it. I'm not worried about that. But it's a beautiful lace that you don't notice right away until you kind of block it or steam it out, and then it kind of pops out. But it's only like 3-row repeat or so. I'm going to make it very, very simple because that's what I like to do to get it into my design. She gives a stitch. I'm going to take the stitch, and we're going to design a project and make it. And I'm going to change it a little bit just so that I can get it into my design, into my simple summer shell top. Now, just so that you know, and you've been with me a while, you know Jay would never tell you to buy a book, and then we don't, you know, I see people buy, you know, and then you never see anything they do. Look, I use these books, and if you notice on all books I've shown, I use them, and then I go back and use them again, and we will continue to use them. Okay, on this book, this is what I plan to do. We will work this stitch on simple summer shell, our tops. This is number 1. Now, I'll just randomly or search or look, and maybe I'll look through this book and I'll come across something else I might like. And I'll go, okay, for our next simple summer shell top, I might use, say, 223. This video that I'm doing today, this tutorial, will be your reference tutorial. I'm going to show you how to make the top, and in a couple of different ways that you can pick which one you want, or you can make all 3 or whatever. And we're going to simply change the stitch as I'm going to crochet as fast as I can because I want to do this all summer long. So who knows how many we might wind up with at the end of the summer. But they are heavy enough, and you can wear something under them that they will go right into, you know, the soft fall weather, depending on, you know, the yarn, of course, that you use. And I'll just pick a stitch, I'll just go through and find something that I like, or I'll study it with my magnifying glass and see, and just really simple maybe. And I'll say, okay, our next one, simple summer shell number 3 will be this stitch. And then I'll proceed in the same steps that I am going to take you through today. That's the whole point, to set the steps up so that you can follow them no matter which stitch I share with you or you pick out for yourself. Voila! Okay, an overview of the shell top, so that you can just kind of get an idea. Set it in your mind, the direction in which you're going. I like to always, I just like to tell you that so you can set your mind. All right, we will start on the back section of this shell. You see, I still have my little contrasting yarn. But anyway, we will start on the back. We will work up to the shoulders. And then, you know, when I get to the shoulders, I turn the piece around, which I will show you. And then we will simply start. Then we will separate to make a space for the neckline. And this is when you can have a tight neckline, or you can have more of the off the shoulder neckline. And then we will have to add those chains back as we come over the shoulders. Then we will have this big old space in the middle. We will have to add chains back, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then we simply continue down the piece, down the sweater. So it's all in one piece, and really the only seams you have to worry about are your side seams. And that's just sewing up the sides, nice seam, and then continue up to any underarms or sleeves that, because I'm going to show you how to add sleeves if you like sleeves. Okay, so for my demonstration, I'm using some beautiful, look like neon green, I thought that would show up really well, of some Caron Simply Soft yarn. And I'm using an H hook. So if I was making this in real time or real shell, I would probably use this H hook, or the Caron Simply Soft might call for an I hook, but it's whatever you want to use. And this pretty color. Now, since I'm doing just a sample, so I'm just going to do a small sample to show you the stitch. In your case of working the actual project, you will make a chain twice the length of your waist. So you'd make a chain and it would go from your right side to your left side, and then I just chain some more. I just chain extra, almost another from my right side to my left side. Because any chain that we do not use at the end of the work, we simply snip off and then work the yarn back to the project. And believe me, when you're designing or trying to make something fit, you don't want to have to stop and recalculate. It's just easier to make a long chain. Now, this is row 1. And just to save time, I started doing these little things. I bought a lot of little things at Michael's. They was in that little that little dollar stuff. I thought I'm gonna make me some little numbers so I don't have to try to tell him the difference between crochet and knitting. You know, he just wants to edit. He didn't want to hear all. He didn't want to know about the history. My son is, that is. So I made a practice chain longer than what I need. That's the whole purpose. Just longer than what you need, because you can take a loose anything else. Here we go. This is row 1, and this is the right side of this shell. We will mark the back side when we get to it. But row 1, in very simple crochet terms, you will go to the 6th chain, skip 5. So I'm just going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and in the 6th chain from the hook. In the 6th chain from the hook, a very simple stitch that you do all the time. You're going to do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, 1, 2, and 2 more double crochets in the same chain. Simple, easy, wheezy peasy. Okay, now I'm simply going to start to repeat that across my row, of course. I'm going to skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. In the 6th chain, I will do the exact same thing. 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 2, 1, 2. See, can I get some more yarn up here? I think I have my yarn on the wrong side, but it'll be okay. Now add 2 more double crochets in that same chain. 1 and 2. And repeat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Skip 5, and in the next chain, 2 double crochets. Now you can just kind of go chain 2 and then 2 double crochets. Just like that. Okay, continue. Now, you're going, well, how many do I need to continue? Well, since we have a nice long chain to work with and we don't have to try to figure out, you just continue to keep working this repeat until you think you have enough of these repeats to put from your left side of your waist to the right side, or vice versa, or whatever. And of course, if you're left-handed, you're just going to reverse everything I'm doing. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me just get a few done, and then I'm going to tell you, of course, how to end the row first before we go to anything else. So, because I did have to change the pattern a little bit. Chain 2, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, 1, let's see, 1, oops, can't see that one. There we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, 1, chain 2, and then 2 double crochets. This pattern will be this stitch is so easy to remember. You're going to enjoy not having to stress. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 in the 6th chain. Do the exact same thing. 2 double crochets. Oops. Chain 2 and 2 double crochets. There we go. All right, so for instance, I'm working along and I see I have a long row of this shell stitch. That's just simply what it is, a simple shell stitch. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. I'll stop anywhere along while I'm working, and I'll take my shell and I'll put it on my own body, from my right side or from my left side to my right or from my right to my left, and just pull it a little bit just so that it feels like it's going to feel like when you put it on, because you know yarn stretches, so you need to put a little tension on it. And then you're going to see how many of these shells will fit around your particular, from your right to your left. You don't have to go all the way around, just from right to the left, because we're going to come up and down the front. So now, let me just count how many I have. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, I'm going to do one more, and I'll tell you why. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And in the 6th chain, you're going to do 2 double crochets. Oops, boy, I slipped. I'm just sliding all over the place. Chain 2 and 2 double crochets. 1 and 2. Now, before we end the row, and you've made a long, like I said, you've done a whole bunch of these, my little sample. Now, and you put it from around your front of your waist, count them out, and see what number you have. If it's an even number, go one more repeat. I like to have an odd number of repeats when I'm doing patterns like this. Since we're designing, there's no written pattern. We're designing this as we go. I've already worked mine out, so we're designing, and I'm just giving you tips along the way. If you have an odd number of repeats, you will always know where the center is, or the best center you can have. So if I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I know that I can have a number of 1, 2, 3 on this side and 1, 2, 3, so that will become my center in case I ever need it for something, or just to have it, just to have a center. Does that make sense? So if you're working these along your long chain, you put it up against your own waist, just in the front. You sit down and you count, and if yours comes up to 14, well, go up to 15. If yours stops short and you said, oh, I've kind of put a little tension on it, I've counted it, see how it's going to fit, and I get 16, I think would do me. Well, then go ahead and do the extra one and make it 17. Does that make sense? So on my little sample, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that's where I'm going to stop. So once you decide on how many and make sure it's an odd number, now we need to be able to stop the whole the pattern. So at the end, I will simply skip 2 chains instead of 5 and just do a double crochet to make a post. Skip 2 chains, do a double crochet to make a post. Now the pattern has stopped. All this is chain that I don't need or won't use, but I will take it, I will snip it later, not now. I will snip it and then work it back to the work at the end. If it's a whole lot of chain and it's real long, then just take one of those little bread ties or a little clothespin or paper clip and just wrap it around and kind of hold it there, you know, just to get it out of your way. So if it's real long, sometimes I just tie it in a bow or something like this, just to kind of, like, because you don't want to cut it yet. A lot of things happen when you're designing your own things, and you don't want to have to keep, you know, starting over and running out of yarn. So to stop the pattern, I skipped 2 chains. I did a double crochet. Now, this is where I had to change her design, her stitch again to fit it into my pattern. All right, we're going to chain 1, turn the work. Okay, now this is row 2, and this is the wrong side. We'll mark it in just a minute. So after I chain 1 and turn the work, now in the very first stitch I just made, right here, the very first one, I'm going to do a single crochet, just like that, and then I will chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. I had to change her pattern right here on my ends because she had a triple and a chain 3 on opposite ends, and when I got ready to sew my first one up, the one I was wearing, the one I made all the had all the problems with, I couldn't figure out because my shells were all lopsided. Then I realized one end, the 2 sides I need to sew together wouldn't match because one was a triple and one was a chain 3. They're supposed to match, but it didn't. So I changed it right here. So I chain 1, I turn the work, and I work a single crochet right there in that first stitch. Now I chain 3. Now row 2 is simply double crochet into that chain 2 space between right there in the shell. A double crochet, now chain 3. 1, 2, 3. That's all we're going to do across. Now in this space, this large space right there, you will do a single crochet because there's no stitch there. You just have to go under the whole thing and do a single crochet. Now chain 3. 1, 2, 3. Now we can zip right across. In the chain 2 space, in the shell, I do a double crochet. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. In this space here, I do a single crochet. Chain 3. 1, 2, 3. All right, now in the chain 2 space there, a double crochet. Now chain 3, 2, 3, single crochet here. 1, 2, 3. You pull up some yarn. Okay, I double crochet there. 1, 2. Okay, double crochet. Now chain 1, 2, 3. A single crochet here. One, 2, 3. I want to go all the way to the end so that you can see how I had to make it match. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet here. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet here. 1, 2, 2, 3. Pull up some yarn. Oh, I really hit the camera. Oh, we'll have to. May have to block that out. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Single crochet here. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet right there. 1, 2, 3. Now at the end, remember I had the turning chain right there where you just single crochet right into the turning chain as you would normally do. You'd single crochet there. Now, this is where I had to change, where I made it to match the other end. This is the turning on every row, every time. Chain 1, turn the work. Now right here in that first stitch, that first single crochet right there, make another single crochet. Now chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And guess what? We only have 2 rows. We have the shell row and we have the double crochet row. So I switch back to row 1. Row 1, I chain 3. Now in that double crochet right there, I will repeat the shell pattern. So I do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Okay, let's see, can I pull up yarn without hitting the camera again, making everybody sick. Okay, now to get from one shell to the next shell over here, there's no extra chains. You just simply skip right over to the next double crochet and add 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now how easy is that? Okay, now I need to get to this single crochet. Now I like to go and take my fingers and pull it up so I can see it. See how this is a nice row that makes the lace even prettier. The shells just are shells. But now pull that up, and I need to get over there, so I simply just jump right over there and do 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Okay, I need to go all the way across to that double crochet lined up right there. 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, 2 double crochets. I'm going to go all the way to the end and let you see the end again. It's the same ending, and it was so much better to sew because they're on the same level and they're equal. Pull up the double crochet so you can see it. Now I'm just going to go into it and do 2 double crochets. 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. 1 more. Alright, now let me get to my end so I don't have to turn the camera or reset it. I'm just going to go over. Chain 2, 2 more double crochets. Pull some yarn up, skip over. Now I'm coming up to the last one. I can see it. I need to pull it up so I can see that last double crochet right there, and I'm going to do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, now chain 2 and 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Now this is the shell row, this is the right side. Now when I come to the end of this row every time, remember there was a single crochet to keep the edge nice and straight right there. I will simply do a double crochet into that single crochet right there, a double crochet, and then the same ending, chain 1, turn the work, and then immediately go right in there and single crochet back in that same stitch. Now we're ready to go. You always chain 1, 2, 3, look and see which row you're on. I know if I just did a shell, then I need this double crochet row. So right here in this chain 2 space, 1 double crochet, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. In this space here, I have to single crochet, chain 1, 2, 3. Okay, I'm back up to the shell, so I need 1 double crochet, chain 1, 2, and 3. And we will continue across. Single crochet, chain 1, 2, 3. And that is, now while I have it on this back side, I will take a small crochet hook or yarn needle. I will go ahead and take some contrasting yarn, and simply I will now mark it, and I will leave it in, and you can add another one as you get further up. You can add a second piece of yarn, just so you don't have to keep moving it up for each row. But now you know you will always have this, and you will not take it out until after you actually finish the project and it's sewn together, everything's in place. The last thing you do before you walk out the door is take the yarn out. That way you don't sew the wrong sides or anything together. So this is the wrong side, and I will continue. Now I'm going to switch and go to one I have a little further up. Okay, see you back in just a minute. Okay, no matter how careful you are, you always miss something. So when I was adding this contrasting yarn to represent the wrong side, I should have changed to row 2. When you see the yellow contrasting yarn, you know you're on row 2 or the wrong side. So I have just worked the wrong side and of this piece, and so, but mainly I make sure you put the contrasting yarn on the wrong side because you're going to need it. Now, as you can see, here we go. All right, so when I'm working, of course, now we're going to have to pretend a little bit. This is a nice swatch of, I've crocheted up a nice swatch of fabric here, and hopefully you can see the lace, if I kind of hand press it, really pop out. Really nice. It's a beautiful lattice. And it's that row 2 that really turns the shells into this beautiful lattice lace stitch. So now, we're pretending. And now I have worked, this is where I started my chain. Now I've worked up to however many inches or however many shell rows, and that's all I count is just the shell rows that you need to get up to the top of your shoulders, from your right shoulder across your back of your neck to the left shoulder. You want to know, I did about 18 of these shell rows. I just counted and I did about 18. I had 17 rows or columns going across. I sat there and counted mine, and I had 17 on one of my sweaters. It will change. You cannot write. It's not like the knitted pattern where I can give you a certain number, because every yarn is going to be different. This is why it's so important. Every yarn you will fit by however many repeats that yarn on that hook you need. So, now, but we're pretending now, and I've gone up as far as I want, and you have to, and you go, okay, now I'm ready to come down the front. We're ready to put our neck and come down the front. How do we do that? Well, first of all, you know, the first thing I do is turn the work upside down. I turn the work, the whole back upside down. Now I'm looking at this was the bottom, now it becomes the top. This was the top, now it's a nice scallop bottom edge of this sweater. Does that make sense? If you've crocheted with me, you know this is how I normally do it to keep it as much as possible in one piece, or, you know. Alright, so the next thing you need to know is about, like I said, how many of these columns did it take you, so we can split it up nice and even. That's all we want. For a neck, you need to start with at least 7 repeats, or 7 columns. Now on this little sample, I'm just using 3, but on my original, let me pull one over. Okay, here's an original, here's this one, and I did 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I had 7 or actual columns that I decided to use for my neck. I was trying to get, the main thing is to get your right shoulder and the left shoulder equal. So let's see how many did I have on here. On this original I had 1, 2, 3, 4, I had 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now say if I had decided to do 6 and come in one more and come in one more over here, you know, I still could have gone with a smaller neck, but you have to make sure you get your head in your sweater, you know, that your opening is going to be big enough. Now, the wider the opening, the more it's a boat neck. The wider or the more stitches you leave across the back open, then more of a boat neck sweater you will have. If I come in to, you know, 2 stitches more on each side, then you can see the neck would have been a lot smaller. Does that make sense? So the neck opening is up to you, but start at least with 7. You want at least 7, but you got to get your head in there. So if we're pretending I have 7 here, well, I'm using 3, so 1, 2, 3. So that means on this sample I can do 1, 2, 3, 4. I put a mark. That tells me, okay, that's the shoulder, the right shoulder. Then I come from this edge and count in 1, 2, 3, 4. I put another mark. That's my left shoulder. Whatever's in between the marks are going to be my neck opening. And I just have 3 on this little sample. Does that make sense? Alright. See how everyone's going to be different? But every yarn is different also. If you're working with real small yarn, you're going to have a lot more repeats than these. You know, because the yarn is smaller. Okay, so now, the next thing I need for you to do is to take your yarn. After we've turned, now we're on this end, and you can see where I started my crochet chain right there. Don't cut that yet. You're going to have to wait to the very end. Alright, now you know that I always go to this top, and I'm simply going to repeat these shells right here. If you look, take your time so that you can see the shell row. There's one, there's one, there's one. So that I can come down the front. So I'm going to join my yarn, however you join. Let me make sure I am on camera. I hope I was on camera. Please, I was on camera. I'm on camera now. Okay, so here's where I had, made my chain, and there it's at the top. I'm going to take my crochet hook, and however you join, I normally take it and just make a loop like this, bring this loop through the yarn, through the fabric. Now I hold both strands, and then I bring them through that loop and pull it closed tight. Now it's joined. I can drop the tail. See that little short tail? I can just kind of drop it in the back. Now watch. Then I will chain 1, 2, 3. Now I'm ready to get right back into my pattern. And this is why I said, why I try to keep the patterns very simple, or choose simple patterns, so that you can get right back into pattern. You don't have to try to figure out what row you're on. You know exactly. We're going to repeat this shell, which will be row 1, but now we're going across the shoulder. And I'm going to show you how to stop and work the neck. So, I know that's just the post. So now here's a shell, and a shell is, you do 2 double crochets, 1, 2, see, chain 2, and right back in the rhythm, 2 double crochets. Let me just move my hand and make sure you can see that. I made that post there, then in the shell column, I put 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Now I go across and I look for the next shell row right there. So I'm just going to go 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, now 2 double crochets. Just that easy. A little more yarn up. Alright, now let's see. Where am I? Okay, I got to get to my mark. That's why you got it marked. So there's the next actual shell. Ooh, boy, man. There's the next actual shell row. So that's where I want to go over into that space. 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, now 2 double crochets. Alright, I see that my mark is in this one right here. That represents, see that shell row? And I have a mark, so I know I'm getting ready to stop the right shoulder. This is the right shoulder. So here we go. In that space, 2 double crochets, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, now 2 more double crochets, 1, 2. Okay, are you with me? Does that make sense? Can you see it? Alright, now I know that I want to have, now I know I have to stop the right shoulder because I have a mark here and I need to leave a space for my neck. So that means I have to create a new post right here somewhere. Okay, and this is how I'm going to do it. Just like if we were at the very bottom and we started, if you look here, there's a chain. You see that chain? Well, I just kind of count over 2 chains. If you can see it, or, you know, you can guesstimate, it's not that important, but I can see, I can count, I can skip 2 chains, 1, 2, just like if we were going to start at the bottom, and then in the next chain right there, I do a double crochet. New post made to stop the right side. Now, what do? We chain 1. Here we go again. Turn the work. You chain 1, we turn the work. We single crochet in that first stitch we just made. Single crochet. Now chain 1, 2, 3. Does that make sense? Now, we fall back into pattern again. Row, you know, the back side is row 2, or where we just do a double crochet here, 1, there, then chain 3, 1, 2, 3, a single crochet right there. See how easy? Single crochet, now chain 1, 2, 3. Right here, the chain 2 space of the shell, I do a double crochet, and then 1, 2, 3, then a single crochet right there between the shells. 1, 2, 3. Let's see. Wow, it's so much fun because you see it coming to life. Okay, right here, a double crochet, 1, 2, 3, then a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, here we go, a double crochet, 1, 2, 3, and I see I'm at the end of this row. Now I have to go into that turning that chain, that post there. I just single crochet into it as you would normally do. Now chain 1, turn the work, and single crochet into that first stitch you just made, that first single crochet. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3. And look, we're on row 1 again. This is a row where we do the shells. See, you only have 2 options. That's why I was trying to make it really easy. You only have the 2 rows to kind of concentrate on, and not 5 or 6. You know, later on we can do 5 or 6, but let's just enjoy this 1 or 2 right now. And wear it and look pretty, so pretty on. Okay, so now I pull up that double crochet so I can see it. You see it right there. And now I go back into the shell. And I do double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, some yarn. Okay, now 2 more double crochets in that same stitch. Okay, there it is there. And then I simply go over to the next double crochet right there, repeat the pattern. 1, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 double crochets. A little more yarn. See how this is showing up. You know, we try to zoom in, but sometimes we don't. I can't. It's hard to see on this camera how close I am. If you're having problems, you know, maybe seeing it, if I didn't zoom in correctly or whatever, look right now at the bottom of the video. Just take your little mouse or your cursor and slide it across the bottom edge of the video, and you'll see some icons over on the right side. And one of the icons, when you slide the cursor over there, it will say full screen. So it will magnify it a little bit and make it larger on the screen. So if you're having problems seeing, move your cursor over, click on that, and then you'll get full screen. And then when you want to exit that, just click on it again and it'll go away, or hit up in the very far left corner of your keyboard, hit escape. My son taught me that. He'll be so happy I remembered something. I don't know how many times he had to tell me. But I'm learning. Okay, so I am continuing across because I have to tell you the next step, which is fun. 1, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. I like that commercial, you know, when the grandkids go to see the grandparents, and the grandparents run out with all the electronics and says, "Oh, hi kids, here, none of this works." That's how it was when my son first, his idea to put me on the YouTube. I couldn't figure out nothing. It was like I had been living in a vacuum. I worked in an office, a high-end office. I've always had really good jobs. And man, when you just leave it for a while, a few years, and settle in, and all you have to think about is what day we're going to the mall and knit, and then all of a sudden you have to learn this new stuff. It was like, what? Have I been living under a rock? A senior rock? Oh, God. But look, I think I've progressed, don't you? Okay, I'm up to the last one right there on this little, on one of my shoulders. So let me get into that one. So double crochet, well, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Okay, so now I've come up to where I have a post. Don't stop. You got to make it, you got to keep it, make a straight edge. So I look, and remember on the shell, right here you have a single crochet right there. We made it. See that single crochet there? You'll be able to see it on yours. All right. Now you just do a double crochet into that single crochet stitch. Just force it in there. Now double crochet, and now we're right back in pattern. And this is where I want to get to. I got to remember how did I do this. I think I'm doing it right. Okay. Now, I'm right-handed. So this is my right side that I've just worked. And I worked one shell row, one double crochet row, and now I've just finished a shell row. The next row would be that little single double crochet. Well, what I want to do, because I need to go to this left side so that we can work some rows up, because we need to come across and close that opening up. And this is what I was trying to get to, and why. This is why I love crocheting too. What little, like I said, knitting is my first love now. Crochet is just mine. I just date crocheting. But I like it because, look, all you got to do, now you could never do this in knit, and it's just so involved in trying to end and stuff. Okay, crocheting, just cut the yarn. We'll come back and get it. Just cut that yarn, just leave a nice loop. Don't worry about it. Or you can put a stitch mark in it. And then I can take the yarn over here. Now, let's make sure I'm on camera, please. Okay, good. All right. Now, do you remember we were going across on this shell row? Remember, we were picking up these shells. Then now we're going to skip across to where the neck. We want the neck. And now I'm going to continue to pick up the shell, so I'll be in the right position and in the right order when I get ready to connect the front. All right, so now here's a column of shells. And then right here, here's that chain in the same place this chain. You got to be in the same place. Here's the shell, because there's my marker. There's where we started the new post. Right here, we're going to start the new post by just going in to the center of that chain. See that? Just go in. I kind of left 2 chains there. I'm going to grab my yarn. I'm going to pull it through like this. Then I'm going to pull both strands through that loop and tighten it down. I've connected. Hold the little tail in back. Now I'm going to chain 3. 1, 2, and 3. Does that make sense? Like saying, if it's too far away, click on the full screen every once in a while to kind of pull it close, and then you can go back so that you can get the sample in the shot. All right, so now I have a post. Now right here, you can see my mark, and you can see this row of shells. So I go right back into pattern. 2 double crochets. 1, 2. Chain 2. 2 double crochets. Okay. Then I need to get over to the next row of shells. Trying to get my yarn here. And there it is right there. You can see the opening. You can see that space, and you can see the row of shells. So 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. All right, I look for the next row of shells, and there it is right there, and there's the opening. There's a hole right there, the space. So I go over, put in 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, and 2 more double crochets. Okay. I see I have one last one on my little sample. Don't worry, I'm going to give you time to catch up. I just want to get this on here. Okay, you see that's the last one, so I go right into pattern, 2 double crochets, 1, 2, now chain 2 and 2 double crochets. There and there. Now I have to find a post somewhere to connect, because I don't have the connection like I normally would, but I'm going to go down here, and I'm just going to connect in this last somewhere in this post, but I'm going to do a double crochet just like that in that post. Now I'm going to chain one. Now I start the sequence. Chain one, turn the work, and in the first single crochet I put a single crochet. Now I chain 3, 1, 2, 3, and now I go to row 2, or the back side, where I am just doing the double crochet, chain 1, 2, 3, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, double crochet, 1, 2, 3. There we go. Pull up a little yarn. Right here, single crochet, 1, 2, 3, double crochet. Now chain 1, 2, 3. Alright, I'm coming up to the post, 1, 2, 3, and then double crochet there, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so here's my new post right here, right at the neck edge. I just made it, so I'm just going to single crochet somewhere in here to get it started. Since we just made this, just single crochet. Now chain 1, turn the work. Now we're working on the left side. Then once you turn the work, you single crochet into that first stitch again and chain 3. 1, 2, 1, 2. Some of this yarn really does split a lot. 1, 2, 3. Okay, I have my 3 chains. Now let's see. Open it up so that you can see the double crochet that you're going to be working in to repeat the shell row. So you just go to 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, go over to the next one, pull it up so you can see it, 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. The next one. Oops, split again. Ugh. 1, 2, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. Okay, here we come. I'm coming up to my last on the sample. Then we're going to stop a minute. Alright, last one. 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets, and now this was the shell row. I look right here and I can see that single crochet right, that stitch. So I'm going to double crochet into this stitch right there, that single crochet. Now do a double to make the post to end it. Now chain 1, turn the work, and go right back in with a single crochet right there, chain 3, 1, 2, 3. Now which row are we working? We are getting ready to work row 2, where we just do the double crochet there, chain 1, 2, 3. Let me pull up some yarn. Alright, then a single crochet here, 1, 2, 3, double crochet in the chain 2 space there, and then 1, 2, 3, right in this large space, a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, a double crochet, 1, 2, 3, a single crochet, 1, 2, 3, then a double crochet. Okay, now I'm going to stop right here to let you take a breath to see if you can work yours, see if you can make sure you can have a neck space, because this is where we're going to have to fill in this gap in order to get over to this side of our shoulder, and then we can continue down the front. Does that make sense? Okay, Jay's sweating. See, it's so easy to think of this stuff, but it's hard to try to translate it and make it. So I can't imagine trying. I give kudos to people who sit down and write patterns. My gosh, I'd have to write in the middle of my pattern. Whew, I'm sweating, y'all. Look, Jay's sweating. I'm having a personal season here, a moment. It was 75 degrees today, right here in March. Okay, let's take a minute. You work a little bit, and we'll come back, and we'll be ready to go across. You see, that's why I stopped, so that when I came across on this row, I can just chain and pick up the pattern where I left off. Does that make sense? See? Jay's going to take you step by step. But I'm sweating. All right, back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. So I tried to give you a few minutes to catch your breath and let things sink in and let you work a little bit just to see. Okay. All right, so now we're ready to go to fill in our chain. I've already worked across this shoulder, working the shell pattern because I'm on the front side now. Now, just like I said, you have to fill in that number of shells that we took out. On my original, like I showed you, I took out 7. So 6 times 7 is 42. So I'd have to chain at least 42 to put back those stitches. You do not need the plus. This one was only 3, so 3 times 6 is 18. So let's go. All right, as I come up, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. All right, then I need to come. Okay, I have a post here because it needs to continue right up, just like I'm working. So I'm going to double crochet, just like if I was, okay, I double crochet. Now I'm going to skip, turn your chain so that you can see the stitch, and you're going to skip 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're going to work the same double crochet, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 2 double crochets. And if you lay it down, it should kind of line up, see? It should just kind of be in line with the chains that we're missing. All right, so continue on. 1, let's see, can I see? Ooh, I need my glasses on. Let's see. Okay, I got them right here. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So in the 6th chain from the hook, I go 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, 2 double crochets, 1, 1, 2. All right. Okay, see, now that should line up. See how it lines up? Okay, for me on this little sample, I have 1 more, and I can see where I need to go. You can just count over to that. And 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2, 2 double crochets. Okay, it lines up. Now I have to put a double crochet right there into that post so that I can start. Does that make sense? Now I look to right here to pull that stitch up so that you can continue the pattern. 2 double crochets. Oops, let me pull some yarn up. Oh man, I really gotta pull some yarn up. 2 double crochets, 1, 2, chain 2, 1, 2, and then 2 more double crochets. We're back in business. Okay, go here, 2 double crochets, chain 2, 1, 2. See how easy it is to memorize this little simple stitch and this little simple sequence? That's how I was able to get so many done. And like I say, I'm working one in real time because I love the color. Alright, there's the next place we need to put 2 double crochets, chain 2, and 2 double crochets. This is good movie watching crochet. You know, maybe this little part you might have to stop for a minute, but then once you get the neck, now all we have to do is go down the front. The last one right there. Into the stitch, 2 double crochets. Oops. Chain 2. 1, 2, and then 2 double crochets. Alright, and with the double crochet, you look for that single crochet right there, right at the end on the post, and you give me a double crochet there, and then chain 1, turn the work, and voila. Now, as soon as you turn the work, single crochet into that first stitch, chain 1, 2, 3, and now we're back where we wanted to, back in the pattern. Double crochet, then chain 1, 2, 3. We're gonna work our way across. My yarn got tangled up in my tripod. I got it on the floor. I guess I should have put it in a ball. Alright, single crochet there, chain 1, 2, 3, double crochet here, 1, 2, 3, single crochet here, 1, 2, 3, double crochet, and continue in the pattern. Now, you will be working the pattern row for row until it matches however many repeats you did for the back. And you can try this on once you get far enough down. You can always put it over your head to see how the front and the back, you know, how it feels, how you make sure you left enough room for the neck. This is a sample, so you know. But on the real one, I put it on and I kept going to the mirror and I would try it and look at it and, you know, just to see if it was enough before I went too far in case I wanted to, you know, change the neckline. But once you've got your neck in, now you'll just complete this row and then you'll work back and forth just like until you have the same. I will see you back. I'm going to work a few more rows and then we're going to do the neck edge and show you simply how to sew it up. That's it. So, I'll be back in just a minute. Okay, so here's an overview of my small sample. You have been working right along on yours. Of course, you're going to have a true size. And I just want to start showing you how to complete the steps you need to just go ahead and get it complete. We have a neck now. And you have been crocheting down the front. Since I've done several, I did notice, and I don't think I maybe said this before. Okay, for instance, on the back where I started, I had 9. I counted 9, and I'm just counting shell rows. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So on this sample, I had like 8. I think I had like 17 on the original. Coming up my back, I think I did 17. Well, I did find once I came across the shoulders, set my neck in, and if I counted again, I decided to have a little more bust, ease in my bust line. I needed more repeats. So you can add more repeats to the front. You can add more rows than you have in the back. So I had 8 on this sample, so I did 9 on the front of the sample. You may need 10. Once you try it on, and this is where good or large safety pins come in handy, because then you can just simply take it, pin it, and see if you need a little more room or a little more length in the front. Okay, now let me show you something else that we need to talk about. Alright, since I'm trying to do this in one piece, and I turn the fabric and then I pick up along the edge here. Okay, alright, on this side I've already taken my yarn needle, and I've already made I've already worked to kind of close up some of the large holes, the edge, so that I won't have any problems with it coming loose or having large holes. Say on this, for instance, on this side. Now, if you look real careful, you can see the line. You can see the place where I did the shoulder, what we call the shoulder, the back, and I have the back marked. And you can, if you look, the holes are a little large in that connection. They're the round holes right here. It reminds you of the top of a beanie or hat. So this is what I do, just to kind of make sure that that stays nice and secure. I turn it to the wrong side. I take a yarn needle and, of course, the yarn. And when I hold it up, it's, like I said, it'll look just like the top of a hat. See that round section? See that? That. Okay, I just simply start on one side, and I take my needle and I just go around that little circle, leave a little tail, and then I just continue to go around. Now you don't pull the hole completely. You don't have to pull it completely closed like that. You can leave a little opening in it, but now it is secure because I'm putting this extra yarn in that opening so that it won't break or over time or with wear, that it might come loose for some reason or break. So just keep that little tail out. Now, how come my tail got stuck in there? Okay, so now, and then you work your way over to the next one. So now here's the next one. Right there. See that large space, that large hole, just like the top of a hat. You know how you take your yarn on a yarn needle and you go around that little, those last stitches. But now on a hat you pull it really tight and close. This you don't want. You want to leave just a little space in there. Just some, so that it matches the rest of the work. So now I'm coming up to this one. And I just take my yarn needle and I go across. I take my time. I'm on the wrong side. It doesn't have to be perfect. You just want to kind of go up under those and just kind of close up that hole so that, like I said, with wear, you will not ruin your sweater or have it to come loose. Now don't close it completely. See, I open it back up just a little bit. And then I'm on the last one. And then I'll just keep going. And then I'll bury this yarn. And it will be secure. There we go. Now, there's a shoulder. And I have that shoulder where when we turn the work, and I worked on the opposite side, you know, it has a tendency to pull and leave a large open holes or spaces, and I want to close them up a little bit. So now it is closed, and you can just weave in. Now we're going to weave in a few ends, just so that, like I said, but you don't have to close it completely. Leave it open just a little bit, and just bury any of your extra tails. Then this is another tail here, so I'll just bury it somewhere. And then we are going to do some work on our neck. I want to show you how I do my little neck. I'm just going to bury that yarn there. Okay, all right, let's see. Well, that's good enough for this little sample. All right, let's see what else. All right, this is an overview, so I'm trying to show you exactly how I take care of all my little ends. All right, I'll weave that in. Like I said, this is a little sample, so I'm going to just cut it and get it out of the way. But I will weave any ends in, and then, now, let's turn it back to the front. Like I said, I have the back and the wrong side marked. So now I'm on the front side, and if this was a real sweater, I'm done. I have tried it on. I can get my head through the neck opening. So now I want to go put a nice little extended single crochet stitch around the neck and sew up my side seams. But before I do that, I want to go back. You see this? This is the little tail to where we started. This is how it looks. Let's see, can I zoom in just a little bit so you can see? Okay, so now here's this little tail, and I'm telling you that, all right, when we finish our crochet, whatever we don't use, we can just cut it off. So, and undo it. So I'm just going to snip it, a couple of inches from the project, from the work. And now you can just take your needle or your hook, and you can find how to pull the yarn. Just follow the yarn all the way back. Just like that. My hands are so rough. I've been working on stuff today. Okay, let's see. Oops. Here it comes. All right, just take your time. Now, as you get closer to the work, then you need to stop and see if you can pull it into a knot, and that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to stop and just simply pull it. And I have this other little tail, so I'm just going to go ahead and tie these two and then weave them in on the back side. I'm going to tie them just like that. Then I can turn it over and weave that in on the back side, and voila! The chains that we did not use, now they're gone. It's magic. Well, maybe not quite magic. Okay. So now now you can just sew up your sides. You can take, so I'll take care of here. I'll just cut all that, but I would weave it in. This is a sample. I don't have time to do all that. Trying to get done. Okay, now with this long tail that was left, I can take this now and start to sew up, and of course you're going to leave space for your arms. You're going to sew it up, but you never tie it off until you do the opposite arm also, and then you try it on several times just to see if you have enough room to lift your arms, if it's if it's fitting like you want it. And you will do the same extended single crochet stitch around each arm space once you've sewn up, tried it on, and you're pleased with it. I'm just going to go around the neck for this sample. Okay, so here we go. We're just going to put our little neck edge on. I'll move some of this. I got so many strings hanging everywhere. Okay. All right. I use one of those little, Susan Bates or Boy crochet hook. I like the pointed edge because it goes through the yarn a lot better for me. And this is like a G or something, just a small size. And I like to start, say, in a back corner. I turn the work and I start maybe in one of these corners. Or you could start in, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to start in the back, over in this corner. And I'm simply going to put my hook in somewhere so that I can connect my yarn. I bring a loop over, pull the loop through. Now I take both strands, the little tail and the yarn, bring it through the loop. Now it is connected. Then I drop the tail and I'm going to build a small wall. So I'm going to chain 1, 2, I'm going to go ahead and chain 3. So that when I come back around, I will have something to connect the stitch to. Now, it's just about the feel. Try not to leave big gaps, but take your time. It's simply put your hook in, pull up a loop. You have 2 on the hook. Go through the first loop, stop, yarn over. Now pull through both loops. That is a extended single crochet, US style. I don't know what the others, but you could use just a plain single crochet, or you can use a double crochet, or you can use whatever you like, whatever you have used in the past. As I try to work up under 2 strands though, if possible. So go through the first loop, stop, yarn over, now pull through both loops. Hook in, try to work it up under 2 strands if possible somewhere. There you go. I'm just eyeballing it. Pull up a loop through the first one, pull a loop through the last 2. I'm working under 2 strands. Pull through the first loop, reach up and pull through both loops. And I will continue. And these little pointy hooks, boy, they just slide right in the yarn. They slide in like butter. Okay. It doesn't have to be, to me it looks like a little lace or a little seed stitch. So I just started long time ago using that stitch. Pull it through and then through both and up under 2 strands. 1, 2, keep going. 1, 2, and you just feeling your way. Try not to leave large gaps, otherwise it'll look like you have holes, that you might have just missed a stitch or something. But you can see it coming together already. Look. Isn't that pretty? And you just continue around. And you can count or do all that if you want to. Like I said, I just eyeball it. When I get to this stage, I'm so excited. I'm ready, like, okay, I want to get this thing on. I want to see what it looks like on. So I really usually whip through this very fast. I'm going slow just so I can get it on camera, and you will continue around your whole neck. And then, of course, when you get back to the beginning, we left that nice little wall, little post there, and you will just slip stitch the last stitch in this little post, and that's it. So Now if I turn it like it should be, just like this, got strings everywhere. Okay, so you would have your side seams sewn. You sew them up, and I sew mine just like I do my knitting. I lay them side by side, right side, just like this, and then I work back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, up to, you know, the place I need, you know, close to my underarm. Leave a long tail, because you never want to tie off an arm space or weave in any ends until you go to the opposite arm and work it, and then you try it on, because you, just like your feet or your hands, you know, sometimes one is higher than the other and you need to adjust. Once you find and you adjust, then you can tie it off and weave in the ends. And then of course you're going to put the same little single extended single crochet around the arm space to make it look nice. And let's see if I've got mine right here. Let me go to the original, right one of them at least, if I can get rid of some of this yarn. My gosh, I've never seen so many. Alright, what is wrong with me? Okay, so here's the front. Here's my neckline. Here's the extended single crochet around my arm. Here's my nice seam that's seamed up. I took my time. I worked back and forth just like when I sew my seams for my knitted garments. And it's nice. And of course when I steam on the wrong side. I lightly use a pressed cloth and have it on the wrong side of the garment and just hold the iron up and steam it. And sometimes I can steam and then just hand press, and it just falls, because we just use acrylic yarn, people. But now once you get it down and you get your number and everything, and you want to go to some hand spun or nicer yarn, then you'd follow those directions. But at least you know, by then you will have some numbers to work with, or you'll know exactly what you're doing and how to work this sweater. Now, the best part of it is, okay, of course we're not done. I might be done on this video, but then I'm going to just start again on the next video. I'm going to do a part 2, because now I want to show you how to transition this same everything we've done on this sweater so far. I'm going to show you how to transition it into another project, and we will continue to work. I told you, I think I said knit palooza, but I meant crochet. We're just going to have an all-out crochet non-stop through the summer, working our simple summer shells. And like I say, and as I finish one, we'll just transition into another. This is still shell number 1. This is still the first one though, just number 1. But we're going to use what I've shared with you how to make this one. I'm going to show you the next project. But instead of putting it on this video, because it's going to be long, I'm going to stop this video. This will be the end, and then part 2 we'll take it up, and you'll see how easy it is to take one step, take it a step further, and come up with a whole nother project, a whole nother pretty. I don't want to tell you, it's going to be a surprise. So, all right. With that said, I think I'm done with this one. You can accessorize however you want. I think I've shared with you how to finish everything up. So I'll go ahead and then we'll get this one edited and get it up, and then I'll share with you the next top from the same stitch. Now how easy is that? So see you in just a little bit.